If I love you, I'm in love with you. I don't give a fuck how many times we get it, we bump heads.
That's real.
You make me mad. I'm in love with you. Don't down me. I need you.
Man, so people saying Memphis rapper Fast Cash C Money just passed away. For the people that don't recognize him, he had the viral song High Off Me that went viral. If I ain't tripping, I think that's his biggest song, but he sadly just passed away.
Big Boogie just let something slip that nobody expected, and it sent shockwaves straight through Memphis. He hinted that C Money wasn't just another victim of the streets. He might have been sacrificed. And the name he dropped? None other than his own label boss, Yo Gotti. Boogie is clearly done playing the loyal soldier for CMG, and he's ready to air out the dirt that could bury the whole empire. Boogie made it crystal clear when he revealed the real reason C Money ended up unloved by the label, and who stood to benefit from his passing. He didn't just spill a little tea, he lit a full-blown fire that's threatening to burn down everything Yo Gotti and CMG built. The message is loud and direct. CMG's house of cards is wobbling, and Boogie has no plans to stick around and watch it collapse.
How I feel right now? 100%. I don't with nobody. And I'm finna make everybody regret playing with me.
Now the whole city is asking, was C Money's fate just another tragic Memphis headline, or was it the biggest betrayal brewing inside CMG itself? What set everything off was a mysterious video Boogie posted on social media. He didn't even show his face, but the tone of his voice carried pure venom. He talked about making someone regret playing with him, and fans instantly went into detective mode, trying to decode who the target was. Then, he doubled down with an even more cryptic IG story. He wrote, "I'm focusing on my daughter, myself, and my career. I ain't letting nobody get in my way. It's gonna be 2026. I'm changing day by day as a man. People barely ask me about my mental. I barely even talk to anybody now. I don't care to. Everybody that ever played with me before made me this way. Today I'm focused because I see a bigger picture of my own life." Boogie didn't even have to drop names. The silence spoke louder than words. He never said Yo Gotti or C Money directly, but the shade was impossible to miss. Fans instantly picked up on it, and it didn't take long before people started connecting the dots. See, folks already had suspicions about C Money's passing. It felt way too neat, way too surgical, and Boogie admitting he was numb and didn't care anymore sounded like straight-up confirmation. That's when everything exploded. Fast Cash, C Money was caught in a shootout in the Fraser neighborhood of Memphis, but the details never sat right.
What happened, gang?
They just said my got killed.
At first, the story was painted as another random case of street violence. But once the raw, uncut footage surfaced online, everything changed. The way it went down didn't look random at all. It looked like a setup, a direct hit. That little leak was all it took for fans to start investigating on their own. And what they uncovered flipped the whole narrative upside down. Word is, C Money felt the danger creeping weeks before it even happened. He wasn't blind to what was coming, and he sure wasn't about to leave his girlfriend and kids empty-handed. That's why he had been grinding non-stop to close that CMG deal with Yo Gotti, trying to lock in his future before the storm hit.
How I feel right now? 100%. I don't fuck with nobody. And I'm finna make everybody regret playing with me. That's all I gotta say.
But the wildest part? Sources say he even secured a life insurance policy as a safety net for his family. That's not unusual in the industry, but when you line it up with everything swirling around CMG, it feels chilling. And here's where it gets even crazier. After his passing, his girlfriend Kaya, after C Money's passing, his girlfriend Kaya set up a GoFundMe to cover the funeral and stash a little something for the kids. She even dropped the link in a Facebook tribute where she poured her heart out, writing, "Courtney taught me so much. So happy we got to love on each other. You took my heart with you for real. All I can do is play your music to hear your voice." Fans were floored. The words cut deep. See, C Money wasn't some reckless rookie. He didn't strike people as the type to leave his loved ones stranded. If the whispers are true, he had already mapped out a safety plan for his family in case anything happened to him. And then the bombshell dropped. A leaked contract surfaced on Reddit days after his passing, showing he was supposed to secure an undisclosed payout from CMG after his death. But when it came time for that promise to hit, the cash was nowhere to be found. It just vanished into thin air.
And dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere you go to, like the Fed watching. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy right here. That boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close right now because they you know what I'm talking about? The case is in August. You know what I'm talking about? I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who set the whole supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder up.
To make matters worse, fans were convinced Yo Gotti himself would step in for the family. C-Money was under CMG's wing, and whether Gotti wanted to claim it or not, that connection put a heavy target on his back. But instead of support, all the family got was silence. No tribute posts, no words, no visits, no financial help, nothing. That silence screamed louder than any statement, and people took it as proof of their darkest suspicions. The chatter got uglier. Gotti might have lined things up, taken advantage, and left C-Money's family to struggle alone. The timing only makes it messier. C-Money had officially signed to CMG just one day before he was gunned down, and in the viral footage, you can literally see him celebrating his new contract with friends when that car rolled up and sprayed bullets into the night. According to police reports, multiple houses were riddled with bullets that night. Yet somehow, the only person who didn't make it out alive was C-Money. Coincidence? Or was the shootout just smoke and mirrors to cover up a planned hit on him? That's when this story shifts from suspicious to downright terrifying. C-Money had already been making waves as an artist before Yo Gotti swooped in with the CMG deal. That contract was supposed to catapult him into the big leagues, but soon he realized they weren't on the same page. While C-Money wanted real strategy, meetings, paperwork, rollouts, Gotti seemed way more interested in how much C-Money could feed into the label machine. The red flags were stacking up fast, and C-Money noticed every single one. But the biggest alarm came when Gotti started moving grimy behind the scenes. Anyone who knows Memphis politics knows just how deadly the tension is between Gotti's CMG camp and Young Dolph's PRE crew. This city runs on blood feuds, and CMG is knee-deep in it. After Dolph was gunned down, the streets buzzed with whispers pointing straight at Gotti and his brother Big Jook. Some even claimed Jook was the one who greenlit the hit. That meant every move CMG made after that was under a microscope. And then things got worse. Hernandez Govan was arrested and tied to Dolph's murder, dragging Gotti's name back into the spotlight once again. Since Hernandez Govan was tight with Big Jook, the connection wasn't hard to make. And when Jook himself ended up losing his life in a similar blaze of violence, the streets split in opinion. Some called it karma, others swore it was revenge. But what nobody realized was that the storm was just beginning. Yo Gotti runs CMG like a mafia don, and that's not exaggeration. His whole image is built on mob boss energy, total control, loyalty above all, and a chain of command that feels more like a gang than a record label. Step out of line, disrespect the boss, and you risk his wrath, and most of his artists knew better than to test it. For a while, the formula worked. With names like Glorilla, 42 Doug, Moneybag Yo, and Black Youngsta, CMG looked untouchable. But after Young Dolph's murder, the mob boss style people once admired suddenly looked a lot uglier. What used to be power now looked like gangster politics playing out in the spotlight. That's when things started unraveling. One by one, CMG artists began slipping away, and the empire started crumbling at the edges. Today, the only one still holding the label above water is Glorilla. And one artist can't carry a whole crew forever. For Gotti, this was not the legacy he dreamed of when he built CMG, so he went quiet. He stopped posting as much, kept his head down, and word is he even started reworking his artists' contracts in the shadows. He was desperate to flip the narrative, cutting off anyone who didn't fit the loyal soldier mold anymore. Look at Black Youngsta. He's the classic example. He's always been Gotti's right-hand muscle, the enforcer, the guy Gotti sends when he wants to shake things up and remind folks who's boss. Black Youngsta has always been the guy willing to do what Gotti wouldn't dare touch, the one who carried out moves from the shadows while Gotti kept his own hands clean. That kind of loyalty used to be priceless when Gotti was leaning into the mob boss image, but now that he's trying to rebrand and take CMG in a legit direction, it's turned into a liability. He needed a fresh face to bet on, and that's where C-Money stepped into the picture. At first, C-Money ignored the warning signs. Gotti seemed like an opportunity, a cosign that could elevate him to another level. But by the time the shady business started showing, it was too late. He realized being tied to CMG was the biggest mistake of his career. Not only did it put a target on his back with Gotti's rivals, it put him in danger inside the label too. Because the cold truth? Gotti wasn't looking for the next superstar. He was looking for a way out, and C-Money became his escape plan. When the news of Fast Cash C-Money's death broke, CMG put on a devastated front. But nobody felt it harder than Big Boogie. His posts made it crystal clear he was shattered. He wrote, C-Money Smith. Jesus, brother, I'm hurt to my heart, my favorite rapper from day one. I'm hurt about you, boy. It wasn't just mourning, it was a total breakdown. The pain hit so hard that Boogie even canceled his own birthday bash in Memphis. He announced it in a Facebook post where he snapped, I'm straight on Memphis. Birthday bash canceled. You guys lame forever. Then he tagged C-Money and threw up crying emojis. Boogie didn't need paragraphs to get his point across. His short, raw post said more than enough. To outsiders, it looked like a man grieving a friend and colleague. But anyone tuned into the rap scene caught the deeper message. Boogie was keeping his head down to avoid sparking even more bloodshed. Fans in the comments understood immediately, praising his decision. One wrote, "That was a good idea, bro. You just saved people's lives." Another added, "He threw a pool party in my city, Atlanta, because he knew if he would have did it in Memphis, it would have went sour. Do your birthday bash in Atlanta, gang, to the public. It looked like a smart move. But to those watching closely, it felt like survival tactics." Then came the eerie pattern. Cryptic posts Boogie kept dropping after C-Money's death. One read, "Everybody finna regret what they did and said. Watch this." Another warned, "Going silent is my final warning." At first, people brushed it off like emotional venting, but now, with C-Money gone and Yo Gotti suddenly quiet, those posts read more like coded threats, like warnings of what's coming next. And just when it couldn't get any darker, Stan G stepped in with a bone-chilling claim during a no-jumper interview. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He straight up told Black Youngsta and the rest of CMG to watch their backs. According to Stan G, Yo Gotti has no problem cutting people off, and he didn't just mean from the label. He meant from life itself. That warning from Stan G cut deeper than anyone expected, especially since it came while the entire CMG camp was still reeling from C-Money's death. Suddenly, the spotlight turned on Big Boogie, the only one bold enough to keep dropping cryptic hints and demanding answers. But here's the chilling part. If Yo Gotti really had a hand in what happened to C-Money, then what makes Boogie safe? His silence right now doesn't feel like peace. It feels like protection, like a man buying himself time while the clock ticks down. Fans are starting to whisper that it's not a matter of if, but when. Because if Gotti is already searching for the next fall guy to keep his empire intact, then Big Boogie might be standing exactly where C-Money was before the shots rang out. And that's the darkest twist of all. Maybe Boogie just painted a target on his own back by speaking too much. So what do you think? Did Big Boogie accidentally expose himself as CMG's next sacrifice? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this with your people, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.